Hey guys, welcome back to another great game of CEDH. Starting us off is Hidden on Shorikai Genesis Engine. This is a humility control deck looking to use artifact synergy along with Shorikai to able to draw a bunch of cards, raft the board, and ultimately win with the Dramatic Scepter or Hullbreaker Horror. His opening hand was a Plains, Mana Confluence, Mental Misstep, Arcane Signet, Grim Monolith, Word of Invention, and a Humility. Next up is Caitlyn on Disa the Relentless. This is a graveyard-based stax list, aiming to pressure your opponents down and snowball your way to victory. Her opening hand had a Forest, Overgrown Tomb, Wintermoon, Nethergoyf, Dothy Voidwalker, Talisman of Resilience, and a Necromancy. In the third spot we have Sam on Tasigur. This is a super flexible deck, aiming for infinite mana while using Tasigur as a great defensive creature that just grinds value on his own. His opening hand was a Hedge Mage, Scalding Tarn, Misty Rainforest, Lotus Petal, Arcane Signet, Wishclaw Talisman, and a 6. And bringing up the rear is Lily on Kinnan. And what can I say that people don't already know? Kinnan makes way too much mana, lets you sit back on activations for big dumb boys, and has the ever-looming threat of just combo killing the table out, with a few very searchable artifacts. Her opening hand was a Scalding Tarn, Yavimaya, Emergence Zone, Mana Vault, Tail's End, Force of Will, and a Void Winnower.
Alright, block there, kill that. Oh, that is trample. Guess I'm just dead on board.
Hidden starts off the game with a Mana Confluence and passes. Caitlyn shocks in an Overgrown Tomb and taps the land for a Soul Ring, ending her turn with a Wintermoon. Sam plays out a tapped Hedge Maze and surveils. He keeps the card to top and plays out a Lotus Petal. Lily has a Scalding Tarn as land and cracks the fetch for an untapped Breeding Pool, using the land to cast the Mana Vault. Although this is a little scarier in Kinnan, as Hidden pays 2 life to Mental Misstep it. But it looks like this is a critical piece, as Lily exiles a Tail's End to freecast a Force of Will. Hidden plays a Plains and takes 1 as he casts an Arcane Signet. Caitlyn has a Forest and for 2 casts a Talisman of Resilience. She then follows that up with a Dothy Voidwalker, but hands the turn over after that. A Scalding Tarn will then come out from Sam, as he then cracks the fetch for an Underground Sea, with him also casting an Arcane Signet. The artifact resolves with him ending his turn, cracking his petal to help cast a Wishclaw Talisman. Lily plays out a Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, and for 2, casts her commander Kinnan. Hidden plays and cracks a Polluted Delta for a snow-covered island, and then slams down a Humility, with it surprisingly sticking, as Hidden passes after that. Caitlyn has a tapped Underground Mortuary and surveils a Grist to the bin. As for 1, she casts a Nethergoyf. Sam untaps his Underground Sea and has a Gaia's Cradle as land for turn, with a surprise twist as he casts a Thassa's Oracle. He's aware of the Humility and just needs a creature for his Cradle as he passes there. Lily untaps her Breeding Pool and also has a Cradle as land. Hidden misses his land drop, but for 2 casts a Cursed Totem into a Grim Monolith. Caitlyn's deck sure has a lot of 1/1s, as she then casts a White of the Reliquary, ending her turn with combat, as she pokes Hidden for 2. Sam is definitely feeling the Wintermoon, as he untaps and plays out a Misty Rainforest as land, cracking the fetch for a Bayou, and then for 3 casting a 6. Lily plays out an Emergence Zone as land, and while her creatures might be off, the One Ring sure isn't, as she gains protection, taps it to draw, but ends her turn there.
Draw.
Then I will just.
Did you draw your one lane?
I don't play this Tabernacle at Pendril Vale.
By the way, I usually play control if I'm not doing. This is amazing. By the way,
I'm in love.
I didn't know we were allowed to. I would have played stacks at this point.
With Hidden then ending his turn with their commander Shorikai. Caitlyn untaps and pays for her Dothy and her Goyf. She then heads to her main phase and taps 3 to also cast a 6. Sam untaps his Underground Sea, and Gaia's Cradle is pretty good against the Tabernacle, as he pays for both his creatures. Sam then makes a deal with Caitlyn to give her the Wish Claw if she tutors out something to remove the humility. Sam will find a card to hand, but shortcuts as he also casts an Imperial Seal to save on shuffling time. Lily will take one from her ring and another from her tap vault. She plays out a Cavern of Souls and names Human. She'll then tap the ring to draw 2, and we also realize she needs to pay for Kinnan, as she taps her Immersion Zone to do so. She then follows that up with a Soul Ring into a Perplexing Chimera. Hidden untaps and wanting to refuel casts a Time Twister. They shuffle up and draw 7, with Hidden then playing out a Mox Diamond, discarding a City of Traders. He will then follow that up with an Adhikar Wastes land, and continuing the stacks, he casts a Rest in Peace into a Blind Obedience. Caitlyn untaps and lets the 6 go. They then activate the Wish Claw to tutor up a card and hand the artifact back to Sam. Caitlyn will then shock into Stomping Grounds as she then casts an Arcane Signet, with her then following that up with an Assassin's Trophy on the Humility. Hidden will try his best to keep it alive with the Spell Pierce, and while Caitlyn can pay the 2, she can't pay for the follow-up Flusterstorm. Sam untaps his Cradle, and with the Tabernacle triggers, floats 2 green. He then uses one of it on a Beseiju, and while he wants the Humility gone, the Tabernacle is preventing him from doing anything, as he then chooses to take out the land instead. Hidden will grab out a basic island, and with the last of his floating green, Sam will then activate the Wish Claw and hand it back to Caitlyn. He then finds a card to hand, and then pays to keep his 6 alive for now, exiling the Thassa's due to the Rest in Peace. He'll draw for turn, but misses his land drop as he passes it there, with Hidden not realizing it's not going to be his turn as he activates Shorikai to loot and make a pilot. Lily then untaps her Cradle and takes 2 from her ring, and 1 from the tap vault. A Mox Diamond then comes out with her discarding a Forest. The artifact enters tapped, with her then following that up with a tapped Mind Stone. The ring is then tapped to draw 3, with the basic island being played as land for turn. Lily then ends her turn with a Mystic Remora into a channeled Beseiju on Hidden's Humility. Hidden has a Plains as land and goes digging as he activates Shorikai. He loots and makes a pilot, but can't find anything and passes. Caitlyn plays out a Cabal Coffers as land, and for 3 casts a Toxic Deluge for 4. She doesn't pay for the fish, and the board is wiped. Sam untaps 1 land and casts a tapped Deathrite Shaman. Lily untaps her Breeding Pool, takes 3 from the ring and 1 from the vault. She pays for the fish and has another island and casts a Manglehorn. It will blow up the Winter Moon, with her then tapping the ring to draw 4, and then follows it up with a tapped Arcane Signet and having to discard an Isochron due to hand size. Hidden untaps and once again goes digging with Shorikai. He's running low on cards and for 3 casts a Windfall. Sam says he has a Flusterstorm, so in response, Caitlyn casts a Cabal Ritual. Lily will draw off both spells, and unfortunately no one has anything else to cast, as the table then discard into exile and draw 8 new cards. With notable discards being a Valley Floodcaller and a Retraction Helix, a Meltdown from Caitlyn, and a Thassa's from Lily, with Hidden then ending his turn with a Mistgate Pathway. Caitlyn plays out a mountain and for 4 casts a Fable of the Mirror Breaker into a Talisman of Impulse. Lily will then draw off the fish, with Caitlyn then ending her turn with a Collector Roof, which Lily counters with a Force of Will, pitching a Mental Misstep. Sam is feeling out of it from the wheel and casts a Rhystic Study. Lily draws, and Sam then ends his turn with an Imperial Seal, drawing Lily another card, although Caitlyn responds with a Tybalt's Trickery to counter the spell. Lily draws, Sam mills to and exiles a Diabolic Intent off the top. He sacrifices his Deathrite and finds a card to hand, ending his turn with the Devoted Druid. Lily takes a bunch of damage from the One Ring, but pays to untap her Mana Vault. She then lets the fish go and casts an uncounterable Kinnan. She won't pay the 1 and then plays out a Forest. Next up is a Cloud of Fairies, which gives a card to Sam and untaps her lands. Next up is a Tezzeret. She'll pay for the Rhystic, with hidden respawning with a strict Serenade. There's a Rhystic trigger, but responding to that, Lily packs the Serenade. She'll pay the 1, with Caitlyn then respawning with a red Elemental Blast to counter the Tezzeret. She will pay the 1, Tezzeret is countered, with the pack countering the Serenade, and Hidden not paying the 1. Lily then casts a Fabricate, paying the 1, with Hidden showing her a Narset's reversal. He does pay the 1 and gets a copy of the Fabricate, finding a Proteus staff to hand. Hidden untaps and plays a Cephalid Colosseum as land. Next up is a Path to Exile on the Manglehorn. He doesn't pay for the Rhystic, as Lily then taps her ring to draw 6, but doesn't have anything as the Manglehorn is exiled, and she finds a basic island. Although she does float the 3 off her cradle before it gets exiled. Hidden then casts the staff, and once again doesn't pay for the Rhystic. The staff resolves and is then activated on Hidden's pilot. Although unfortunately for Hidden, Lily responds with a Beast Within. Hidden doesn't have any way of stopping the spell and gets a 3/3, with him then ending his turn with the Mystic Remora, drawing Sam 1 more card. Caitlyn untaps and pitches 2 to draw off the Fable. She doesn't find anything and casts a tapped Talisman of Indulgence. She'll pay for Rhystic and Fish, ending her turn sending the 2/2 Goblin at Lily and making a tapped treasure off the attack. Sam then heads to his turn and plays out a City of Brass. He then can cast a Dark Ritual and gives the card to Hidden. This then helps him cast the Machine God's Effigy. Hidden draws again, and looking for an answer, brainstorms. He'll draw 3, put 2 back, and then unfortunately realize he should have Shorikai'd first to dig deeper, as he doesn't find anything to stop this. The Effigy will enter as a tapped copy of the Devoted Druid, with Sam then casting a Chain of Vapor on the Curse Totem. And unfortunately, Hidden makes another mistake, as he then copies the chain to bounce the Effigy, thinking he doesn't have the mana to recast it. Sam though will make infinite mana off the artifact in response, and he keeps the chain going to bounce Hidden's Rest in Peace as well. This will then let Sam infinitely activate Tasigur, and along with the Praetor's Grasp, he can steal all of his opponent's spells to win him the game. Game review. Man, stax feels great, but it doesn't win you the game. I felt on top of the world, but unfortunately I couldn't hold the whole table down, who eventually found ways to pick apart my pieces, and eventually win Sam the game. Granted, if he didn't, Lily definitely would have had it on her turn, as she has an overloaded Cycrypt and just the combo in hand after drawing so many cards off her 1 ring. But that's why it's important to have a way to win the game, rather than just stop your opponents from winning. Thanks to everyone that joined for the game, and before everyone leaves, I want to thank our special Patreon members, Slyfox and Holy Septic, for their support of the channel, along with all of our other Patreon supporters as well. And remember, never give up, even if you're dead on board. I'll see you guys later.